If you are considering moving to Quincy, Massachusetts, this video should save you some time and energy and answer some of your questions about what it is like to actually live here. Quincy is one of the fastest growing and most talked about areas just outside of Boston. It is more affordable than a lot of nearby areas. It has direct access to the T, direct access to water, direct access to Blue Hills, and over the last few years, it has seen a lot of serious development with no signs of slowing down. This is one of the most common places just outside of Boston that buyers are considering right now, but it is definitely not for everyone. So in this video, I'm going to walk you through what people love about Quincy, what people tend not to love so much about Quincy, who Quincy tends to be a great fit for, and who should probably think twice before moving here. Before we get into the pros and cons of living in Quincy, let's talk about where Quincy actually sits. So if you go just south of the city of Boston, just across the Neponset River along the water, that's where you're gonna find Quincy. So Quincy actually borders Boston to the north, Milton to the west, Braintree to the south, and Weymouth to the southeast. Once in a while, you might hear Quincy referred to as the Granite City, known for its historic granite quarries here. It's also the birthplace of John Adams and John Quincy Adams, so you have another layer of history here, which isn't exactly unheard of considering that Boston is just a historic city by nature. Quincy feels like a hybrid between a city and a suburb. So depending on where you are, you could be in an area that feels a little bit more urban and a little bit more dense, or in an area that feels a little bit more residential and more spread out. That variation is a big part of the story here in Quincy and why different buyers gravitate towards different parts of Quincy depending on their lifestyle and what they are looking for. Now let's dive into the pros or positive aspects of living in Quincy, starting with pro number one, your access to the city of Boston. Quincy probably has the best transit access outside of the city of Boston itself. You're not just relying on one stop on the subway here. You've got 4 Red Line stations in Quincy, not to mention 2 commuter rail stops and plenty of bus lines. You have Red Line stops at North Quincy, Wollaston, Quincy Center, and Quincy Adams. That gives you multiple access points to the city here, which is a huge advantage. You can also drive into Boston pretty easily via I-93. And for a lot of buyers, that flexibility is everything. Compared to places like South Boston or other neighborhoods in town, you're just getting a little bit more space for your money here without necessarily sacrificing much of that proximity or accessibility to the city. That balance is a big reason why Quincy stays in such high demand. Pro number 2 is the more affordable entry price point here in Quincy. Now, I wouldn't exactly consider Quincy to be especially cheap, but compared to neighborhoods of Boston, Quincy can be seen as a more attainable entry point. You're also going to find different options for condos, multifamily homes, single-family homes, from small homes on the water to large Victorian homes in the hills. So that makes Quincy one of the rare markets where you're actually getting first-time home buyers and move-up buyers transacting frequently in the same market. At the time of this recording, the median single-family home purchase price point sits around $750,000, with the average apartment rental rate being around $2,500 a month. If you have questions about condos or multifamilies or what you can actually get for your budget, feel free to reach out to us anytime and we're happy to walk you through it. Pro number 3 of living in Quincy is the growth and development of Quincy Center recently. This area has seen new construction, new bars, new restaurants, improved walkability, a more active downtown feel. It's definitely not the seaport in Boston, but it is significantly more built out than it was even 5 or 10 years ago. So for buyers who want some of that city energy without the full city chaos and traffic and parking fees and everything that comes with it, this is a great option. And if you happen to be in the Quincy Center area and you want to grab some food, go check out Fuji at west of Chestnut for some sushi, or go grab some dinner at Alba. Those are 2 area staples that have absolutely never let me down. Pro number 4 of living in Quincy is your coastal access, your lifestyle options, and other amenities here. So in Quincy, you have beaches, you have marina access, waterfront areas, you have a very trendy neighborhood in Marina Bay, which feels a little bit like the seaport downtown in that it has restaurants, harbor views, a great place to dock your boat if you are a boater. Definitely more of a lifestyle driven feel here. There are also some more residential feeling waterfront pockets of Quincy in Squantum, Adams Shore, and Houghs Neck. These offer a little bit of a snoozy seaside community feel. Now, I do want to say that in Quincy, these waterfront areas, they just feel a little bit more like harborfront areas versus the true coastal oceanfront communities that are further down the South Shore once you get past the town of Hull. Across from these waterfront areas on the east side of Quincy, on the west side of town, you have access to the Blue Hills Reservation. This is a large state park. It spans Quincy, Milton, Canton. It offers hiking, biking, plenty of trails. There's even skiing and snowboarding up here in the winter time. So if you're a beginner or you're trying to get the kids on skis, this is an awesome option to have in the area. This legitimately changes the way people in Quincy and the surrounding towns live week to week. All of these hiking and biking trails, it's an amazing outdoor space to have. This is not just a small local park. This is a massive outdoor space that is a huge draw for people, not just in Quincy, but outside the area as well. So in addition to Quincy's accessibility and nightlife, you also have these waterfront options and the Blue Hills. Quincy really does offer a ton to do outside of your home without ever having to leave town. Pro number 5 is the housing variety. With a dozen unique neighborhoods, each with very different personalities, Quincy offers one of the widest ranges of housing options that you are going to find nearby. You have high-rise condos, older apartment buildings, newer developments, duplexes, triple deckers, and plenty of single-family home options. That flexibility allows renters and buyers to enter the market at different price points and level up over time without ever having to leave the area, which is what many of them end up choosing to do. Now let's get into the cons or the drawbacks of living in Quincy. Con number 1 is Quincy is not a quiet suburb. Now, there are certainly pockets of this town where you can find a calmer, more residential, quieter feel, but generally speaking, Quincy is active. That means more traffic, more density, more movement. So if you are expecting a quiet, more tucked away suburban feel like Milton or Hingham, this is definitely not that. Con number 2 is the neighborhood variation matters a lot here. As I mentioned, you have a dozen or so different neighborhoods, all with different feels. That just adds a layer of complexity to winning a home here. You have these cutesy little seaside communities, stunning hilltop neighborhoods, and then these denser town centers with more condos, apartments, and multifamily options. Even block to block, Quincy changes as far as density, condition, layout, and overall vibe. You need to be very intentional about location in Quincy depending on the lifestyle you are looking for. Con number 3 is the commute is not always smooth. Now, despite the nearly unparalleled accessibility to the city of Boston, if you have heard anything about the city of Boston, it is probably that the traffic is absolutely brutal here and the transit system is atrocious. So you're not going to escape this in almost any town, but just know that just because you are this close to Boston and Boston is very accessible from Quincy, that doesn't mean you're going to be zipping into the city in 10 minutes every weekday at 9 a.m. Con number 4 is the schools are a bit more nuanced. So yes, the schools in Quincy are definitely a bit more nuanced when compared to towns like Hingham or Milton, where the schools have a more universally recognized reputation. That said, Quincy has a wide range of schools, and much like the neighborhoods, the quality and perception can vary depending on the location and what a buyer is specifically looking for. For some buyers, this is not a major factor. For other buyers, especially those planning on staying longer term, this is definitely something that you want to evaluate more closely than just making assumptions at a town-wide level. Con number 5 is Quincy is getting more competitive. Now, this town was once seen as a clear value play, but that gap has definitely tightened. Prices have risen, demand has increased, inventory still moves quickly, especially in the single family home market. So if you're considering Quincy as an option, just know that you are not the only one looking here. That said, if you are working with an agent that knows these neighborhoods and how to win a home here, it should not be a problem for you to get in at all. Now let's quickly get into who Quincy could be a perfect fit for. Quincy works very well for first-time buyers who are looking for access and flexibility, Boston commuters who want red line access, buyers who want some energy and nightlife options without the full city prices and chaos, investors looking for multifamily opportunities, buyers who are looking for multifamily live-in, flip, or long-term hold plays, and buyers who are open to that mix of urban and suburban feel. Now, who should think twice before moving to Quincy? Well, Quincy may not be ideal for buyers who want a quiet suburban neighborhood through the entire town, buyers prioritizing top-tier school systems, buyers looking for large lots and a lot of privacy, and buyers who want a purely residential, low-density feel. So while Quincy definitely has some trade-offs, it is all about access, flexibility, and opportunity. Quincy gives you proximity to Boston, great proximity to South Shore beaches, great proximity to the Blue Hills, multiple housing options, and a chance to get into the market at a lower price point than some of the surrounding towns. For the right buyer, Quincy makes a ton of sense. But just like any other town, it only works if your expectations match what the town actually offers. If you are considering Quincy as an option or trying to compare it to towns like Braintree, Weymouth, Milton, Dorchester, I'd be happy to have a conversation with you and figure out which of these towns might actually be the best fit for you. If this video was even remotely helpful for you, please give me a like, subscribe, leave a comment if you have any questions. If you are an area local and have some additional insight about Quincy, please drop it in the comments below. And thank you guys so much for your time watching the video. If you are buying or selling a home anywhere in the area, feel free to reach out to our team. We're happy to have a no pressure conversation with you. And thanks again for watching, guys. Take care.